Over to Weatherfield for our next topic. The Corrie watchers among you will know that poor old Dev's facing every father's nightmare right now. His 15-year-old daughter, Asha, has been getting involved with a boy he doesn't approve of. So this has prompted him to have the talk with her, except it didn't go to plan.
You having sex with this boy?
No, I'm not. Not right now. Not at all, actually.
So why are you on the pill?
I'm not on the pill yet. Never heard of being prepared.
Yeah, it's being prepared and it's being precocious.
I think you mean promiscuous.
No, I know what I mean.
No, we didn't fly off the handle like this when you found a condom in Daddy's bag, did you?
Different.
Yeah, of course it is, because he's a boy and I'm a girl. And you're a dyed-in-the-wool chauvinist.
Yeah, and I'm the problem now, am I? Me?
Ooh, tricky conversation. Let's talk about sex, Judi.
Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Woo!
Carol is despairing of us, I can see.
Carol's going to walk out. She's glad she's in France.
So, Judi,
Yes.
how do you talk to or do you talk to your kids about sex?
I do talk to my children about sex because, how I grew up, a lovely mother, but, she's old school West Indian, Jamaican woman, and even to utter the word, it was like, sex? I wouldn't talk about it with my mum or anything like that. It'd be like, know your books. And if she felt like maybe I had a boyfriend, you'd be like, oh, you think he's a big woman? No, yeah? Oh. So I didn't really want that kind of facilitate that same thing with my kids. So I really tried to have an open, honest conversation. I say to my kids, oh, mummy's married and she'll go away on a lovely romantic weekend with her husband and you'll do that maybe when you're older and so on. And I use the word sex and making love so it doesn't have all that, like, dirty connotation. Because I feel like sometimes the way kids are spoken to about sex is, oh, this naughty thing that you mustn't do and so on, and then they won't come and speak to you about it, they'll feel uncomfortable. So I have a conversation with my daughter, who's 15, and she does cringe, when I speak to her about it. My son's a little bit more like, he's, open, but I let them know it's something you're supposed to enjoy, it's supposed to be something you do with someone that, you might love or you're in a relationship with. Sometimes it won't go right, but, just try and have that conversation with me if you're thinking or maybe feeling some kind of way. If you kissed a boy, if you don't, have those open conversations. They still don't tell me anything anyway.
Carol, did you talk to your mum about sex?
Oh, God, no. I mean, she's been gone a long time, but even the thought of ever talking to my mum about sex, I don't think I ever had a conversation with her about it at all. I learned absolutely everything at school, in the playground, from other girls. And, I mean, I think that my mum kind of knew what was going on. She wasn't stupid. But I kind of thought that the first time she realised that her children might have sex one day was when my sister got pregnant. And I really thought that. I just thought, my mum still thinks I'm an innocent girl. But I know she knows that I went to the doctor when I was 16. It's on my 16th birthday, actually, to make sure that they would keep it anonymous and not tell my mum to get the pill. And, I'm pretty sure she knew all of that. But, I don't know, the thought of talking to your mum about sex, in those days, you weren't kind of friends with your mum, were you? No. She was your mum, rather than now, where mums are always, like, best friends with their daughters. And I still find that a little bit weird. I mean, it's up to everybody what they do, but not for me. My mum was my mum. She wouldn't even let me bring boys back to the house, let alone stay over or go to our room. Even though I shared a room with my two sisters, it would have been a bit difficult.
I learned everything I think I knew about sex from Jackie magazine, the problem page at the back. Wow. What about you, Linda?
Well, my mum was a bit like your mum. She was Catholic Irish, so nothing about sex was ever discussed in our house. Anything to do with periods was hidden away in cupboards. So she never had the conversation with us about that even. But my daughter, Lauren, she was probably about 16 and she'd been with this boy for quite a long time. And she used to go up to her bedroom with him. Yes. And in our house, we always said no locking doors. We don't want the doors locked or whatever. So I don't think she ever locked the door. But I guessed that things were going to start turning into more than just kissing. So I had the conversation with her and I said to her, you know, do you think that you will? And then she said, I think I might do. And then I took her and I got her the pill and that, which I'd never have been able to do. When I went on the pill, I was in disguise. I was about 16 and I was sneaking into the health centre so that no one had seen me and tell my mum that they'd see me going in there.
And how did Mark feel about your conversations with Lauren? How did he feel
I never
about the
spoke to
closed
Mark.
bedroom door?
I never spoke to Mark about my conversations with them, but Mark's not Lauren's dad, so it was like me having a conversation with her, my domain and that. Whereas with Bobby, I've never had the conversation with her because she's so shy, she would never talk about it. Louis I had the conversation with and just said, like, if you do get into a relation, just treat everyone like you would a member of your family. And I also said that both of you are supposed to enjoy it and both of you are supposed to agree to wanting to do it. No one's got to press you into doing anything you don't want to. So, yeah, I just think it was, rather than them do it on a park bench somewhere or something, if they're going to do it, let them be in the nice, warm bedroom.
I mean, it's interesting because I've obviously got 3 girls. You guys have got boys as well as girls.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself having a different conversation with them depending on whether they're a boy or a girl?
I do. I feel like, sorry, just to say, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could let my daughter in the room with a boy. I think my mum would come back alive in my body and I'd kick down the door. It just wouldn't happen. I can't do it. But regards to, you know, obviously, I think it's great that she could come and have that conversation with you. But for me, I've got a boy and I've got a girl, and I do really speak to my son as well about consent and actually, you know, even if it is your girlfriend, how you present yourself, or your boyfriend, whatever, you know, how you present yourself and how you make someone feel comfortable. And because I do think what's put out there, especially towards girls, is that sex is about girls pleasuring their partner more than actually understanding that, you know, your body's supposed to be, you know, treated like a temple. You are supposed to feel good as well. So I've just had the conversation to both of them and let them understand that there's an emotional connection as well. Even when sex education came in, I took them and had that conversation with them first, than just letting them see 2 images on a slide, you know. So I think that's what's the most important thing.
Well, we did a poll. Is it every parent's responsibility to teach their kids about the birds and the bees? Yes, 92% of you. Yes. So no 8%, of course. And we had some great comments as well, but I particularly love this one. Vicky, I had a conversation with my 15-year-old about this during half term. I told him no one-night stands, but I forgot that his 9-year-old brother was in the car and he wondered why his brother couldn't stand all night long and asked if it was because it got too dark. Oh, isn't that sweet? What a difference 6 years makes in age, eh?